All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to crack the code on a huge question in the crypto space. What actually makes a digital token useful? I mean, really useful. We've got our hands on a fascinating blueprint that lays it all out, and we're going to walk through it together. So this is the big question, right? You see thousands and thousands of these tokens pop up. There's a ton of hype, a lot of noise, and then poof, most of them just fade away. So why? Why do so many of them ultimately go to zero? Well, here's the brutally simple answer. They don't have a job. Seriously. They exist, but they don't do anything. There's no real reason for them to be there, no problem they solve for the user. It's like having a key without a lock.
But what if you designed a token with a job from the very beginning? That's what we're looking at today. We're using this document as a case study for a platform called Trader Sensei and its token, Jinim. Think of it as the actual architectural plan for building a token that has real, undeniable value. And the strategy here is built around one single idea. It's right there on the screen. The goal is to make this token the absolute economic key to the entire system. It's not some add-on or an afterthought. It is the engine at the very heart of the platform. Okay, so let's start with the easiest job you can give a token: saving people cold, hard cash. This is what the blueprint calls the fee discount engine, and it's pillar number one for creating utility. Every platform has some kind of fee, right? On this one, the standard transaction fee is 0.5%. Now, for a user, that's a pain point. It's friction. And it's something you'd obviously want to pay less of if you could. And right there, that's where the token gets its first job. Now check this out, because this is where it gets really clever. The platform turns that fee into a massive incentive to use the token. Look at the tiers. If you don't have any GNIM, you pay the full 0.5%. But just by holding 1,000 tokens, your fee gets slashed all the way down to 0.10%. Even better, if you decide to pay your fees with the token, it drops to almost nothing. And for the real power users who lock up their tokens, 0 fees, plus you get priority processing. The token literally becomes the key to a better, cheaper experience.
And here's what that looks like in the real world. Let's say you do a $1,000 transaction. Normally, that's a $5 fee. But if you're using Jinim, that same fee could be as low as 25 cents. I mean, come on. That is a super clear, immediate reason to want to own and use this token. Okay, so the token has a job. People want it because it saves them money. Great. But how do you make that whole system last? How do you make it self-sustaining? This brings us to the next level, the economic flywheel. This is where the platform's own success starts feeding directly back into the token's value.
And this quote from the document just nails the whole philosophy. It's all about closing the loop. People use the platform, which creates fees. The platform then uses those fees to create more demand for the token while reducing its supply. And what does that do? It makes the platform stickier, which encourages even more people to use it. It's a beautiful, self-reinforcing cycle. So how does this flywheel actually spin? It's a 5-step process. Step 1, you use the platform. Step 2, the platform collects fees. Now step 3, this is the magic part. Half of all those fees are programmed to automatically go out and buy GNM on the open market. Then step 4, those tokens that were just bought are burned, which is a fancy way of saying they are permanently deleted from existence. The result? You get constant buying pressure and a supply that is always going down.
And to put a number on it, the blueprint projects this flywheel could be taking $20,000 worth of GNM off the market every single month. That's not just a nice idea. That's a powerful economic engine connecting platform usage directly to token scarcity. So we've got a really strong case. The token saves you money, and the more the platform is used, the scarcer the token gets. But is that it? What else can it do? What if it could actually give you a voice in the whole project? Well, this is where the token evolves. By locking your GNIM tokens, you can get something called VGNIM. It stands for Vote Escrow GNIM. Basically, it transforms the token from just a utility tool into a governance tool. It gives the platform's most committed users real power over its future. And we're not talking about voting on silly things. Holders get to vote on stuff that actually matters, like what new features should be integrated next. Should we make tiny adjustments to the fee tiers? Or how should we split the revenue between burning tokens and saving for development? Your utility token just became your share of ownership. All right, this is the final piece of the puzzle. It's one thing to have a great design on paper, but how do you know if it's actually working in the real world? You measure. You measure everything. This blueprint is obsessed with data and finding what it calls product token fit. So forget about just looking at the token's price. The team focuses on real metrics like MAR-W, monthly active routed wallets,
This is all about tracking the number of unique, real people who are genuinely using the platform every month. It's their North Star for measuring true adoption, not just speculation.
And that's just one metric. They're tracking tons of other things. What percentage of people are actually using GNIM to pay their fees? What's the net reduction of the token supply after all the buying and burning? How fast are new users figuring out they can get a discount? You see, every single part of that flywheel we talked about is being measured and optimized.
So, when you put this all together, what have you really built? Well, you've solved the original problem. You've created a token with a very clear job: save people money. You've built a sustainable economy where the platform's success directly benefits the token holders. And you've created a real path for your most loyal users to actually become owners. It's a complete 360-degree system.
And that leaves us with one last really big question to think about. Yeah, this blueprint was designed for a crypto platform, but are these ideas bigger than that? Could a loyalty program, a streaming service, or any online community use a model like this to give its users a real economic stake in the game? It really makes you wonder what the future of digital ownership is going to look like. Thanks for digging into this with me.